Hello, guys. It's Mrs. Z. Let's work. ZERN Student Edition, Grade 5, Mission 5, Lesson 6, and it word problem. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Let's see what they have. We're going to use read, draw, and write strategy. Right. Storage company advertises the three different choices for all your storage needs. So they're selling three different choices for the storage needs. The cube, a true cube box, probably volume of 64 cubic meters. The double the volume of the cube, and the half of the volume of the cube. What could be the dimensions of the three storage units? How might this how might the double and the half be oriented to cover the most floor? Oriented to use the most floor space, the most height. So imagine if you have the cube. This is not a cube, but it's that you could think um, of this. All right. I'm going to create the cube just for purpose of work here. Okay, so let's see if that is so that how much space it uses. But if I am going to create a different with the same 8 cubes, I could use the box that is taking more space. So it has a volume of 8. The 4 and 4 makes 8. Its a height is this is the taller box, or I can use this wider box but the shorter, and it will take more space for it in my garage or my storage. If I want a box that is really takes little space on the floor, but it goes tall in a height, if my ceiling is very high, I can choose the boxes that are very tall but skinny. So it doesn't matter the volume of the box. We can put inside always the same amount of stuff, because just the different the shape of the box, but volume is the same. 8 cubic units this one, and 8 cubic units this one, depend what the customer needs. So by knowing that, I hope that this visually helps. This is the cube. Let me see if I can use this to help myself to do quick drawing. So I'm going to, okay, so this represents that the first 64 cubic units. That is, here you go. Okay, again, I made a little bit more bigger. So this in this box could be 64 cubic meters of the space. And then when you think about what really volume is, so the length times width times height. So if I have a cube, everything has to be S times S times S. The sides has to be the same. So S in this case, if I can remember, the V is, if I multiply 4 meters times 4 meters times 4 meters, I will get 64 cubic meters. So so S has to be 4. So the every side here, the length is 4, height width is 4, and the height is 4 as well. So this is the original cube box that they are offering, but then they are also offering the double the volume of the cube. So if we're gonna double this volume, we need to do 2 times the volume. So 2 times the volume. So if this if or we can double one side, we just can say okay times 2. 4 times 2 is 8, so it would be 8 times 4 times 4 in a case you want to do that, or 64 times 2, double the volume, that is 128 cubic meters. So the next box is going to be 128, and this is the double. That's double box. Okay. They also they offer the half of the volume. So if you think about half of 64, that's what would be the volume of it. So if you think, however you multiply to get double, you divide by 2 to get half of it. So 64 divided by 2. We can think about half of 60 is 30, and half of 4 is, or we can just separate the 60 and this into 4, and you can divide 60 divided into 2 is 30, and 4 divided into 2 is 2, so together is 32, and that will be the half. So now also cubic meters. 32 cubic meters, 128. So original box, 64 cubic meters. The double box will have 128 cubic meters. Half of a box would be the 32 cubic. How I can change the values here? I can multiply by 2 one of the factors, or I can say, or I can divide by 2 if I'm gonna make a half of it. So that's the idea of it. So now they said, what could be dimensions of the 3 storage units? I found how might the double and the half be oriented to cover the most floor space, the most height. So there is different, it could be, like I said, the possibility for a double would be 8 times 4 times 4, or possibility for let's just say, okay, let's make it understanding, possibility for half, it would be 2 times 4 times 4. That could be, but they said um, they would like us to do the most floor space used. Remember, if this is like that, that's the most space is used. And then most height that is used is this way. So then we can have the shapes. So when we think about, let's see, the double, this way, and then here the half. Okay, so the different values, the first value that we could, where we originally come from, is that we did the volume of this box. It would be if you multiply by 4, that's 8 meters by 4 meters by 4 meters. That is equals to 120 8 meters, cubic meters. But if you want to make to be the flat, the most space on the bottom, so you needed to have the base, the biggest. So we can think about what could be that how we can create that. So if we think this to be, for example, 16 times 4, that would be 120. Let me see if I have that. So this is, oh, I'm thinking about two of the sides should have the height and should be the 1. And then the most high would be the 128, the height. If that makes sense to you, I don't know, but I'm trying. All right. Okay, so if I'm thinking of the picture, I could create. I'll use my little ruler just to show how this, I'm trying to draw that about. So thinking then this is will take the most floor space. Okay, and okay, so if this is 1 and this should be let me see what it should be 16 meters, and they should be that 8 so if you look that to be 16 times what makes 128, that should be the 8. So 4 times 4 is 16. We need 8 to be multiplied by. So 16 by 8 by 1 should be the volume of the most space. Let's check if we are right. 16 times 8 is 6 times 8 is 48. Remember 4. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 4 8. So we got 128. 16 times 8. So length has to be 16, width has to be 8, and then the height needs to be the 1. So that will take the most space. So it's going to be a 16 by 8 by 1. All right. If we think about the one that is the tallest, so it really has to be something like 1 by 1 by 128 meters, but that's a really tall, but it's not unbelievable. So it's a very like tower box. If somebody has a storage that is 128 meters tall, so the height is going to be 128 meters. the width will be 1 meter, and the length will be 1 meter. So it's still 1 times 1 times 128 will make 128 cubic meters, which this will take the most the height, and this will take the most the floor space. And then if you think about um, the half, this was the double, so the most space, and then most floor. Let's do the most floor, and then this is the most height. Oh, height. All right, the most height for the double. If you think about half, okay, the half was 32 cubic meters. So when you think about to multiply, you will multiply um, 32, 4 times 8 is 32 if you look that way. So we can do, uh, so the first one was the volume equals, so we divide by 2, so 2 meters times 4 meters times 2 meters, which give 32. So the next volume could be, if we multiply 8 by 4, that's 32, and by 1. So this, how it looks like, it's going to be 8 by 4 and by 1, the most space that will take box on the floor space. All right, so it's about that. And then for the half of a choice, and then the tallest would be also same picture like this one, but the tall, so it would be 1 by 1 and by 32. So if you, I'm just pretending I'm not doing great job, but this is free drawing, so for me, give me if it's not perfect. So this should be 1 meter times 1 meter and times 32 meters. So this will take the most the the most space for a half floor space, and then this will take the most height space if they choose to use those. uh, I hope that I kind of rushed through it, so I hope that you understand it. Okay, let me make it smaller. Okay, hold on. So we started with lesson 6 word problem. We read and we draw a picture of the one option they gave. Then also they give the double option and half option. So we learned that if we want a double, we need to multiply one factor by 2, or twice the volume. And if we want a half of volume, we need to divide the volume, original volume, by 2, and we're going to get half. So when we got that, we can explore what kind of different possibilities we can do to find the shapes. So maybe there is more options there, guys. This was just my ideas, but there is other options for this problem as well. Okay, That was Mrs. Z. Have a great day. All right, guys. Bye bye.